You walk into the supermarket with a list in your head. Just a few things. Milk, eggs, bread. Easy. But 10 minutes later, you're holding orange juice, frozen pizza, and some kind of lotion. You didn't even want lotion. You just panicked when someone said, "Excuse me," and your brain shut down like a cheap laptop. Welcome to Monday English Podcast, the only place where your awkward English moments get roasted, but in a loving way. We're not here to clap for basic grammar. We're here to help you use English when your hands are full and your mouth forgets how to move. Today's episode is called At the Supermarket, Easy English for Shopping. Because let's face it, supermarkets are terrifying. So many people, so many shelves, so many questions you don't understand. Paper or plastic? Do you want a bag? Would you like to donate $1? Suddenly, you'd rather leave with nothing than speak. I've seen it. You nod, you smile, you grab something random and leave with 0 items from your list and 100 new regrets. This episode will walk you through the 3 danger zones. First, lost in aisle 7, finding stuff without crying. Second, do you need a bag? And other tricky questions. And third, shopping lists, forgotten words, and awkward encounters. We'll laugh, we'll cringe, we'll fix the mess one word at a time. If your English disappears every time you hear, "Can I help you?" you're not alone. But you also don't get a pass. You want real English? You've got to speak it in real life. Even if your voice shakes and your sentence comes out like "where the juice live." So, let's stop pretending you're not smart. You are. You just panic under supermarket lighting. Let's change that. Start walking down aisle 7 with me and try not to grab shampoo when you're looking for milk. You walk into the store like a champion. You think, "This is easy. I've got this." Then you see a sign that says dairy. You pause. Dairy? What's that? You look left. You look right. You grab your phone and Google it like your life depends on it. Meanwhile, a child runs past you holding yogurt because he knows what dairy means. Great. So here's your first win of the day. Dairy means milk, cheese, yogurt, and other foods made from milk. A normal sentence? The milk is in the dairy section. Remember it. Use it. Live it. Or just keep guessing and end up buying cream cheese for your coffee. You walk a bit further. Another sign. Produce. You freeze again. No, it's not something about producing movies. Produce means fruits and vegetables. Simple. Example? I buy apples in the produce area. That's it. Now you're 2 signs smarter than 5 minutes ago. Keep going. Let's say you want eggs. You look around. Nothing. Do you A, give up and buy chips, or B, ask a human for help? If you choose option B, and I hope you do, you can say, "Excuse me, where are the eggs?" That's a full sentence. 10 points for bravery. You can also say, "Do you have eggs?" Or, "I'm looking for eggs." All of them work. You don't need perfect grammar. You need a mouth that opens. Now, when they answer, things might get tricky. They may say, "They're in aisle 6 across from the milk," and your brain will try to fly away like a scared bird. So let's break it down. Aisle means one of those long supermarket rows. It's spelled weird, but sounds like aisle. Use it like this. The eggs are in aisle 6. Easy. Next, direction words. Across from means the opposite side. If the milk is on the left, the eggs are across from it, on the right. Next to means beside. On the left and on the right are self-explanatory, unless you panic and forget which hand is which. At the back means near the end of the store, where your dreams usually go to die. So when they say, "It's at the back, next to the frozen section," don't freak out. Just walk. Frozen means cold and hard, like your social skills, when someone speaks English. Frozen foods include pizza, vegetables, ice cream, basically the things you buy when you don't want to cook. Example, "The ice cream is in the frozen aisle." You're welcome. But let's be real. You might not understand their answer. Maybe they speak too fast. Maybe your brain is busy wondering why you came here without a list. Either way, say this. Sorry, could you say that again? You are not a failure for asking this. In fact, you sound more natural than the person pretending they understood, but is now walking toward the dog food. Here's a surprise. People in supermarkets are usually helpful. They want you to find your eggs and leave. They do not want you wandering around looking like you lost your mother. So ask, speak, say something, even if it comes out a little strange. It's better than silence. Silence gets you nowhere. Or worse, it gets you shampoo instead of milk. Because yes, shampoo has happened. You read moisture on the bottle and think, maybe this is for drinks? No, it's for your hair. Don't drink it. Don't buy it unless your plan is to eat cereal in the shower. And if you're still pointing at things like a sad mime while mumbling, we need to talk. That's not communication. That's a cry for help with bad acting. You're not in a silent movie. Open your mouth. Use one of the 5 phrases we just covered. If it comes out wrong, who cares? You're learning. Mistakes are fine. Not speaking is not. So here's your tiny task. Next time you go shopping, ask one question out loud. Even if you already know the answer, even if it's scary, say it. Where is the bread? Do you have lemons? Say something. Don't whisper. Don't hide. This is your practice field, not a grammar exam. Now that you can ask for things and survive aisle signs without crying, it's time to face the next boss, the checkout line. Brace yourself, because the cashier speaks fast, smiles hard, and always asks that one question that breaks your soul. Let's talk about it. You've made it through the shopping. Congrats, you found the milk. You didn't cry in the frozen section. You even asked someone a question, and they didn't run away. Great job. But now it's time for the final level, the checkout line. This is where your English gets tested. Your sweat glands activate, and your brain decides to take a short nap. Because nothing says panic like a smiling cashier asking fast questions while 10 people stand behind you waiting. Let's start with the most famous question. Do you need a bag? Sounds simple, right? But your brain hears it and immediately thinks, what bag? Why? Am I being tested? Deep breath. Say, yes, please, if you want one. Say, no thanks, if you brought your own. That's it. No need to give a speech. Just 2 or 3 words. Clear and calm. Next comes the real fun. Paper or plastic. And now you're in a philosophy class you didn't sign up for. Paper means a bag made of paper. Plastic means a plastic one. Example? I'll take a plastic bag, please. Done. If you don't care, say, anything is fine. If you're trying to save the planet, say paper, please, with confidence, even if you're still using plastic straws at home. And then, out of nowhere comes the question, do you have a rewards card? This one breaks even native speakers sometimes. A rewards card is a small card or phone number you use to get store discounts. You can say, no, I don't, or I don't have one. If you do have one, just give them your card or say your phone number. Not your birthday, not your pet's name, your number. Yes, the one you gave them 5 years ago and forgot about. Now it's payment time. The cashier says, how would you like to pay? Or simply, credit or debit? Don't freeze. Credit, and debit are 2 types of cards. Credit means you pay later. Debit means the money comes from your bank now. You can also say cash if you're paying with real paper money. And then there's self-checkout, a machine where you scan and pay by yourself. Sounds easy, is it? Sometimes. But it's also where technology and your broken confidence go to fight. And finally, the price. It shows on the screen. You look. Your heart sinks. Wow, that's more than I thought. Yes, you can say that. That's normal. Or, if you're rich in spirit, but not in wallet, say, I'll get it next time, and quietly put the fancy cheese back on the shelf. It's okay. You're not alone. We've all bought snacks we didn't need and returned the vegetables we were supposed to get. One last line you might hear is, "Would you like a receipt?" A receipt is the small paper that shows what you bought and how much it cost. If you want it, say, "Yes, please." If you don't, say, "No, thanks." Or say nothing and just stand there like you're doing math in your head. That works too, I guess. But speaking helps. Let's take a moment to face the truth. Saying yes to every question is not a plan. That's how you end up buying a toothbrush you didn't need, 4 reusable bags, and a candy bar that was $7. You're not being polite. You're being confused and scared. Use your voice, not just your smile. The good news? Cashiers don't care about your grammar. They care about speed. They're tired. They just want to finish the shift and go home. So if your sentence is weird but clear, great. If it's short but confident, even better. You're not writing an essay. You're buying yogurt. Keep it simple. If you're nervous, here's a trick. Practice the whole conversation at home. Out loud. Say, "Hi. No, I don't need a bag. Credit, please. Yes, I'd like a receipt. It's boring. It's fast. It's real." Bonus points if you do it in front of your cat. Double points if the cat ignores you. They usually do. You don't need big words to win this game. You need short ones, strong ones, spoken ones. So stop hiding behind the phrase, "I'm just shy." That's not a reason. That's an excuse with a weak Wi-Fi signal. Here's your tiny action task. Practice one full cashier conversation out loud today, even if you're alone, even if you mess up the order. Now, let's move past the checkout line and into something harder. Running into someone you know. In English. In public. In the store. It's awkward. It's real. And yes, we're going there next. You're walking toward the bread section. You're almost done. It's a quiet moment. Then, disaster. You see someone from your neighborhood. They see you, they smile, and then they speak. In English. You freeze. This is not part of your plan. You wanted apples and silence. But now it's time to use your voice. Let's take a step back. First, think about your list. You probably had one in your head, but can you say it in English? Try starting with "I need" or "I'm looking for." Like, "I need some onions" or "I'm looking for rice." Simple. Full sentences. Not onion, onion, onion like you're casting a spell. That's not English. That's summoning soup. Here's another line. "I forgot to get." Use it when you remember something too late, like "I forgot to get milk," or "I forgot to get eggs again." You'll probably say that one a lot. You can also say, "I usually buy," for example, "I usually buy peanut butter, but today I want jam." Look at you, making real choices like an adult. Now let's talk about how to describe the things you're buying. Numbers matter. Size matters. Quantity matters. Let's say you're buying water. Don't just say water. Say a big bottle of water. That's real. That's useful. If you need rice, say a pack of rice, not rice box thing. If you're buying soup, try 2 cans of soup. A can is a metal container, like soda cans, soup cans. Easy. Example, "I want 2 cans of tomato soup." Clear and smooth. What about prices? Sometimes things are cheaper than usual. That's called on sale. If something is on sale, it means it costs less today. You can say, "These cookies are on sale." If it costs too much, say, "That's too expensive." If you're not ready to buy it, say, "I'll get it next time." All of these phrases help you sound like someone who shops and thinks, not just someone who grabs and runs. And now back to that awkward human near the bread. They say, "Hey, fancy seeing you here." You smile. You try to speak. Your mouth says, "Yes, me too, bread." Okay, let's do better. First, small talk is not evil. It just feels scary. Try answering with something short and real. They say, "Busy day?" You say, "Yeah, just grabbing a few things." That's all. You can also say, "I live nearby," or "I come here a lot." These are true, normal sentences. If you want to ask a question back, try, "Do you shop here often?" Or, do you live close? Keep it short. Keep it human. You don't need to sound smart. You just need to sound like someone who's not escaping the conversation by jumping into the freezer. Here's a new word, nearby. It means close to this place. You can say, I live nearby, or there's a coffee shop nearby. Simple and useful. Another one, grab. It means to take quickly. I'm grabbing a sandwich is faster than saying I am buying one small sandwich. Learn the words real people say, not just the ones your textbook loves. Now, let's deal with the excuse I hear all the time. But I don't know the words. Look, you don't need all the words. You need enough words. If you know 5, use 5. If you know 10, use 10. Don't wait until you have 50. You'll be waiting forever, and by then, the bread will be sold out. Here's your tiny task. Make a 5-item shopping list in English today. Say it out loud, twice, without your phone. Just your brain, your mouth, and maybe some peanut butter. Now let's take all these messy, weird moments, from asking questions to talking with strangers, and turn them into something stronger. It's time for some truth. Real talk. Get ready. You've watched 127 YouTube videos on supermarket English. You've made lists. You've highlighted phrases. You've even repeated, do you need a bag, like it's a magic spell. And yet, when the cashier actually says it, you smile like a kidnapped tourist and nod like your brain just left the building. Why? Because your problem isn't vocabulary. It's fear. You don't need another video. You need to open your mouth before it rusts shut. Let's be honest. You're not waiting to feel ready. You're hiding. You're hiding behind grammar books, behind your not today excuse, behind the idea that one day, maybe, you'll be perfect. Spoiler, you won't. Perfection is fake. You want to speak English? You need to sound awkward. That's the deal. You need to stutter through, I forgot the eggs, like it's Shakespeare. You need to say credit in a shaky voice while the person behind you sighs. Welcome to fluency. It's ugly before it's smooth. And no, you're not scared of English. You're scared of people. You're scared they'll look at you weird. You're scared they'll laugh. But here's the twist. They won't. Or if they do, that's their problem, not yours. You're brave enough to learn a language. They're just fluent in being rude. Let them be. You think more words will help? They won't. Practice will. You don't need 100 new phrases. You need 5 you actually say with your real voice. You don't need a course. You need a checkout line. You need a real person, a real question, and a real chance to answer. That's how language works. Not in silence, not in your head, in use, in motion. You keep saying, I just want to speak more. Okay? So do it. Speak to the cashier, to your cat, to your reflection in the frozen food door. Stop waiting for confidence. It comes after the mistake, not before. The person in front of you at the supermarket, they forgot the eggs too. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's tired. Nobody's judging your grammar when they're busy paying for snacks and wondering if they locked their car. So here's the truth that hurts first, then helps. Every supermarket trip is a free English lesson. Every would you like a receipt is a tiny test. You can keep failing silently. Or you can pass loudly, with mistakes, with pauses, with a sentence that's kind of broken, but still yours. Ready or not, you're walking toward that language moment again. So take a breath. Say the weird thing. Say it wrong. Say it anyway. Let's finish this with a simple plan you can actually follow. Something small, something real, something that finally makes your English loud. Let's wrap this up. Let's be honest. Shopping should not feel like a language exam. But here you are, sweating at the checkout, like someone just asked you to explain the past perfect. Don't worry. You're not broken. You're just out of practice. Today, we walked through the chaos together. You learned how to ask for help in a store. You learned what to say when the cashier starts speaking fast and smiling like it's a trap. You learned how to describe your shopping list without sounding like Google Translate from 2007. That's real progress, even if your bag still has snacks you didn't plan to buy. We said things like, "Where is the milk?" and "Do you need a bag?" and "I'll get it next time." Simple phrases, real English. Not fancy, not perfect, but useful. These are the lines that make your English feel alive, not locked in a classroom. And guess what? Most people in the store don't speak like textbooks either. They speak fast, they speak casual, and they forget words too. So, if you're waiting until your English sounds natural, let me remind you, natural doesn't mean perfect. It means real. And real often means weird. Here's the bad news you already know. Studying doesn't make you fluent. Talking does. And silence, it's the slowest way to learn. You can know 2,000 words, but if your mouth stays closed, you might as well know none. Fluency lives in your voice, not your notebook. Now let's crush your favorite excuse. But I'm scared they won't understand me. Yeah? They definitely won't understand if you say nothing. You want people to understand your English? Start speaking it. Say it wrong. Say it slowly. Say it with heart. People will figure it out. Or they'll ask you to repeat. That's life. You'll survive. Here's your tiny action for today. Next time you go shopping, speak one full sentence in English. Just one. Say it to a cashier, a staff member, or even yourself in front of the cereal. Don't whisper. Don't rehearse it for an hour. Just say it and move on. That one sentence is more powerful than watching 10 more videos in silence. If this episode gave you a little courage or a loud eye roll, share it with someone who needs it. Maybe your friend who still says, "I'm not ready," or your classmate who types perfect messages but never opens their mouth. Or maybe you just send it to yourself. That future version of you who's finally brave enough to say eggs out loud. Subscribe to Monday English Podcast so you don't miss next week's roast. Lesson. We'll be back, still tired, still sarcastic, still cheering while you mess up in style. And remember, your English doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be spoken. So speak ugly. Speak now. See you next Monday.